Hey everybody, hope and pray that you're doing well. Today as we come to our word from the word. And today that word is powerless. Powerless. Now yesterday we talked about being powerful and talking about how God gives us strength to do what we need to do. And today we're going to see the opposite end of that. We're going to see how powerless we are when we try to do things in our own strength. Now, there again, I pray you are reading all these passages, everything that we're going through, because I know we kind of jumped on up to Samson's older life and his ministry and the work that he was doing. I call it ministry because he was still a judge put there by God, and it's what he was called to do. But as he got his eyes off of God, we know he ends up doing a lot of things wrong. But here today, Judges chapter 16, verses 19 and 20. This is on after they have gone back and forth trying. The enemy is trying to understand where Samson's supernatural strength comes from, and he finally, through a lot of deception and everything, I pray you'd read the passage. He finally tells them it's through because his hair has never been cut. So Judges chapter 16, verse 19 and 20. Then she, Delilah, lulled him to sleep on her knees and called for a man and had him shave off the 7 locks of his head. And then she began to torment him, and his strength left him. And she said, "The Philistines are upon you, Samson." So he awoke from his sleep and said, "I will go out as before at other times and shake myself free." Now he'd done that several times and broke whatever it was there. But this time, it says, but he did not know that the Lord had departed from him. So see, all these other times that he had done these things, he was still in the strength of the Lord because his hair had not been cut. He had been obedient. That was all part of that Nazarite vow. And there's a whole nother time we could talk about other parts of that vow that he had already broken and messed up. But even with that, looking today to powerlessness and to just that word powerless. Every time we try to do something in our own strength, it's there again, going back to Sunday, talking about Elijah. Thought he was all alone and he had to do it all by himself. And God says, no, that's not the case. It's the same thing with Samson here, even though he is this, if anybody was ever alone, it was because the lone strength was on him at that one time. And I mean, there's never been one that was showing such great physical strength in all of Scripture. But to look at how God used him and to accomplish these great things, but now because he's been lulled by this woman, and he's listened to the lies and how he didn't see the deceit and everything that was going on with her is beyond me. But that's really how we all do, right? We can't see the forest for the trees sometimes. And so he finally, because Delilah guilted him into saying, well, look, if you really loved me, you would have told me and you'd quit tricking me all these times. And so he finally tells her. But then when he goes to get up, just as he had in many times before, the other times he jumped up because he was still in the strength of the Lord. But now he didn't realize the Lord had departed from him. In other words, he didn't realize that he was trying to do it all in his own strength, and that's why he couldn't get up. He couldn't break the ties that were around him, the ropes that were around him. And I just get to thinking about how often today do we do the exact same thing? We've allowed the enemy to coerce us and to distract us and to deceive us to the point that we have believed their lies. We have succumbed to what they've asked us to do. And so we turn everything over to them, turn it over to the enemy. And then when they come to attack us, then we want to try to get up in the strength of the Lord. And we don't even realize that we're fighting in our own strength. And that's why we'll never be victorious when we're fighting on our own. See, there again, it's the idea of not being in tune with God, not being in that right relationship with God. To know that it's His strength that empowers us to face the daily struggle of life. Even today, the daily struggles that we will go through. And I'm not talking about just physical struggles, but especially the spiritual struggles and battles that we go through. It is a spiritual war going on, and Scripture is complete with this from one end to the other about the spiritual battle that is going on for souls. And so when we think about that, we have to understand we're never going to witness to anybody effectively. We're never going to be godly examples effectively. We're never going to hear from God the way that we need to. And the list goes on and on. We're never going to be able to do those things if we're trying to do them in our own power. And the sad truth is that many people today don't even realize that's what they're doing. So today, my challenge for you and for myself is this. Man, let's spend some time in prayer. Spend some time asking God to show us, God, am I trying to do this in my own power? Or am I doing this through you? Better yet, God, are you working through me? God bless you, and I pray you have a great, great day.